Let's get right into it.
Number 6. Emotional IQ, the silent superpower. You can solve equations, decode patterns, and debate philosophy, but can you read a room? Emotional intelligence isn't about knowing things, it's about knowing people. And it's arguably the most dangerous and misunderstood form of smarts. People with high EQ can subtly influence others, diffuse conflict, and make everyone like them without anyone realizing why. They're like social hackers, decoding tone, posture, and micro-expressions to rewrite emotional software in real time. This kind of intelligence doesn't get tested in IQ exams, but it decides who gets promoted, who gets trusted, and who gets remembered. Some call it manipulation, others call it leadership. Either way, it's power, the kind that doesn't denounce itself. The irony? You can't fake it. True emotional intelligence requires empathy, not calculation. Without that, it's just charisma dressed in a villain's suit. Basically, EQ is the forbidden superpower of the modern age, invisible, unmeasurable, and terrifyingly effective.
Number 5. The thought that thinks you. You probably assume you own your thoughts, but what if they own you? Neuroscientists have discovered that most of your ideas are generated before you consciously decide to think them. In other words, your brain makes choices first and then politely informs you afterward. It's like your mind has a secret CEO making decisions behind a glass wall, while you, the intern, write the memos. Every brilliant insight you think you had might just be your subconscious flicking on the light switch. This is why creativity often strikes when you stop trying. In the shower, on a walk, mid-nap. The forbidden side of intelligence is that it doesn't come from control. It comes from surrender. You're not a thinker steering your brain. You're the passenger on a neural roller coaster pretending to hold the wheel. So the next time you say, "I just had a thought," remember, no, it had you.
Number 4. The intelligence of fear. Fear is supposed to make you run away from danger. But here's the plot twist. Sometimes it makes you smarter. When your brain detects a threat, it floods your body with adrenaline and cranks your senses to 11. Your memory sharpens, pattern recognition spikes, and your problem-solving speed triples, all because your body thinks you're about to die. It's basically your nervous system saying, "Oh, now you want to be efficient." Evolution designed fear to help us survive. But in modern life, the predators are social. Deadlines, rejection, embarrassment, failure. And weirdly, that same ancient circuitry helps you navigate them. Anxiety before a big presentation? That's just your inner caveman boosting your awareness so you don't get metaphorically eaten by judgmental coworkers. But here's where it gets forbidden. Prolonged fear rewires your intelligence. People who grow up in unstable environments often develop hyper-intuition, an almost psychic ability to read faces, moods, and subtle cues. Their brains evolved to predict danger faster than thought itself. So next time you call yourself anxious, remember, you might just be too evolved for this timeline.
Number 3. The smart-dumb paradox. Ever met someone who can explain quantum mechanics but forgets to close the fridge? That's not bad luck. It's a real cognitive glitch. The smarter your brain gets at certain types of thinking, the dumber it can become at others. Basically, intelligence is a game of mental Jenga. Stack too many logic blocks and your social awareness might wobble. Researchers call it the compensation effect. Your brain, being the drama queen it is, pours all its energy into complex reasoning, math, strategy, philosophy, while quietly letting emotional and practical intelligence rot in the corner. That's why geniuses forget birthdays, lose keys, and accidentally insult people while just being honest. The weird part? This imbalance might be an evolutionary trade-off. Early humans who hyper-focused on tools or patterns helped their tribes survive, but they weren't exactly fun at parties. Our modern intellectuals are their descendants, highly specialized thinkers trapped in a world that still runs on feelings and small talk. So if you've ever felt too smart for your own good, congratulations, your brain has achieved elite stupidity. It's like owning a Ferrari that can't reverse.
Number 2. The stealth networker. Picture someone at a party who never dominates the conversation, never posts selfies, and somehow knows exactly the right person to call when you need a favor. They're not an extroverted mastermind. They're a stealth networker, the unmeasured underground currency of social intelligence. This kind of smarts operates under the radar, invisible to tests, resumes, and the applause button. Yet, it's the stuff that actually runs careers, movements, and sometimes entire industries. Stealth networking isn't about being friends with everyone. It's about being the person who understands reciprocity, timing, and micro-investments. You drop small favors like breadcrumbs, a quick intro, a thoughtful article, a tiny gift, and over months or years, you build a lattice of obligations and goodwill. The math here is slow and deliberate. Minute deposits compound into enormous trust. This is human intelligence that thinks in compound interest, not in flash-in-the-pan charisma. Neuroscience would call this social capital, but the forbidden part is the strategy. This is tactical empathy plus temporal patience. While the loud networker yells, "Look at me," in the middle of the room, the stealth networker quietly seeds relationships like a covert gardener. They notice who's stressed, remember tiny details, and make connections when nobody is watching. That is a cognitive skill set, attention to social microdata, pattern recognition across groups, and a temporal horizon that outlasts trends. And like all greedily useful mental skills, it's invisible to standard intelligence tests. SATs don't measure your ability to quietly assemble a coalition over 5 years. Psychologists don't typically score your who you know ledger. But companies, funders, and presidents absolutely do. Punchline: the stealth networker wins not because they're louder or more brilliant on paper, but because they're better at planting seeds and remembering to water them. It's intelligence disguised as kindness, or maybe kindness disguised as strategy. Either way, it's the kind of smarts that pays dividends when the lights go out.
Number 1. The meta-consciousness loop. You know when you think about thinking and then feel dizzy because your brain made a mirror of itself and now it's stuck analyzing its own reflection? Welcome to meta-consciousness, the forbidden top level of intelligence that can't be measured with a stopwatch or a multiple-choice test. It's the ability to notice your own noticing, to debug your cognitive biases in real time, and to deliberately reprogram your mental habits like an absurdly competent life hacker. Metaconsciousness is a luxury and a weapon. On one hand, it makes you self-aware. You catch your own panic before it hijacks your decisions. You notice when you're rationalizing, and you can pause to ask, is this belief serving me? On the other hand, it can create paralysis. Too much self-monitoring turns choices into bureaucratic processes and spontaneity into scheduled therapy. The mind that observes itself relentlessly can become its own fun police. But when it's used well, metaconsciousness is transformational. It lets you rewire destructive loops, shame, anxiety, tribal thinking, by exposing the algorithm. You become the person who can step outside a fight and see the emotional scripts being played, then choose a different scene. That's scary power. You can rewrite how you interact with reality, not just respond to it. Final punchline? Metaconsciousness is like having a software update for your brain, except sometimes the update asks uncomfortable questions and occasionally needs a reboot. It's the forbidden, unmeasurable upgrade that makes ordinary intelligence look like an old app. Use it wisely, or at least use it entertainingly. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.